William Usher from the Centre of Competitiveness. My background is mainly the automotive industry. As most will be aware, when people talk about lean, they usually go back to the Toyota production system, so it's very much concepts and tools that originated in the automotive industry. So what I hope to do in the 10-15 minutes allocated to me this morning is just simply share with you what my experience has been over 20 years on the ground in the operations at Ford Motor Assembly plants in several locations across the world. So, going back to the Centre of Competitiveness, who are we? We're a non-for-profit organisation. We're membership-based. We've over 500 members across the whole island of Ireland. We work across every single sector. As we've heard already this morning, lean applies not only to manufacturing, it applies to any sector that you might be involved in. We have offices here in City West and in Belfast as well. And basically what our aim and our mission is to build competitive advantage for any organisation that we interact with. We deal in 4 specific areas. The first one is quality. We help a lot of companies with innovation and creativity, technology. What we're going to deal with today is the productivity side, and obviously we offer a lot of services for our members. What I just simply want to talk about for a few brief minutes is how to achieve lean through a culture change. We've heard something regarding that already this morning. Just brief background, everyone seems to go back to the Toyota production system when they're going to look for a benchmark for lean. Ironically, Toyota actually started by doing a benchmark to Ford. In the 1950s, 1960s, Ford ended up going to Japan along with the North American auto industry to learn what they did wrong, what Japan did right. And that's where most of the lean production systems that we know today come from. And of course, everybody now has their lean production system, the Ford production system, Mercedes-Benz production system, Caterpillar production system, very much patterned on the Toyota production system. Just a few bullet points as to what lean is not, and this is where most of the pitfalls that companies encounter can just boil down to quite a few of these bullet points. It's not just a few lean tools that we apply, and quite often companies, mainly manufacturing companies, will invest a lot of money in training, and they think that by bringing in a trainer and training in lean tools, that's enough. It's not about lean tools. It's not about a group of best practices that you just simply go and implement. It's not about implementing projects, and we've just heard about Six Sigma projects, very important. It's at the backbone of Ford production system as well, but that's not key to lean. I'm not going to go through all of those. Really, lean is all about people. Lean is all about people. It's not just a new way or a different way to do things in your factory. It's about respect for people. And it's not about treating people right. It's more about training people, giving them the respect they're due, acknowledge that in them is the knowledge, is the experience, is the expertise to take your company to the next level. So it's respect for people. It's about emphasizing therefore people development in the tools that they need to do their day-to-day operation. It's all about designing a production system around people, not around tools, and not around machinery, and not around a plant layout. It's a production system around people. And in Toyota, they always say making things is about making or preparing people. But our experience in the automotive industry is that 80% of the journey towards lean is simply learning and living lean. It's people, and only 20% is actually changing things physically in the factory or implementing new ways or new technologies to do things. Why is it people? It's through people, it's through your workers, it's through the management, it's through individuals and group teamwork that improvement actually happens. So it's all about people. By thinking lean, everybody becomes involved. Workers, they need to be empowered to make the changes. The suggestions have to come from the floor up, not from management down. And this, by implementing this philosophy, decision making, it takes place at the actual workstation where things actually happen by those who do the process best. After all, it's the people that use the tools. It is the people that actually make the processes happen. Lean is all about entrusting people with well-defined responsibilities, following a lean roadmap with clear objectives. But lean is also about employee involvement, taking them into account, listening to their ideas, listening to their suggestions, listening to the best ways of doing things. So, for just 5-7 minutes, what I want to just share with you is, how does the Ford production system work? I can only talk about Ford for the last 20 years of my life. Quite often, people see the Toyota house. What Ford uses, and again, this is in the public domain, you can get all this information on the web. They use the Ford production system and they present it as an umbrella. And what you have at the very top is policy deployment. What are the key objectives of the company? And those key objectives, it's not of the CEO, it's chief objectives of CEO and perfectly aligned right down to the operator in the workstation. It's just communication, shared objectives. It's visual management. Again, visual management, make it simple, make it easy, make it part of everyday work for everybody. And then time and data management. What are the key operating meetings from workshop level right up to senior management? How is it controlled? You'll see there SQDC PME. It's what in Ford we call the SQDCME. It's just a balanced scorecard. What is that for? Again, it's one balanced scorecard for the whole organization. S for safety, quality, delivery, cost, and so on. And every single person in the organization, from CEO right down to operator level, has their objectives perfectly aligned. No more than 5 per element. Make it simple. Then obviously at the very bottom you have continuous improvement, you have standardized work, a common way to do absolutely everything using the lean tools. The Ford production continuous improvement model has as its foundation teamwork and work groups. And let me just go to the next slide. There you have, in a very simplified way, how work groups function at Ford Motor Company. The very lower level green, each individual workstation. 2 or 3 of them might have one team leader. The team leader is just another operator from the work cell, reporting to a group leader, and the group leader will then report to a supervisor. So it's at the very lowest section of the organization. That's where everything happens. There's nothing happens to control efficiency in Ford Motor Company that doesn't start and doesn't end at that level. So that's why we say lean is all about people. What do each work group have as basic tools? All of them, 5S, we've heard of that already this morning. Problem solving skills, and Ford uses 8D problem solving methodology. How to identify waste, and right down to 6 Sigma for major projects. At least one person in every work group will be trained as a developer. Let's just work through a few things that happen at work group level, and this is the reason why at Ford, lean is all about people. They have a continuous improvement board, so that's the center and the focal point for every work group. In it, they have clearly defined their objectives as a work group, aligned to the corporate SQDCME. In it, they will have where they are in 5S. In it, they will have where they are in 8D problem-solving projects, Six Sigma projects. In it, they will have any other initiative that they would have to reduce cost, to reduce impact on the environment at work group level. Where does it all start? Every morning, startup confirmation meeting, 5 minutes before the shift starts. Teamwork. Evaluate where they are against the standards, evaluate where they are against objectives, evaluate what problems there has been in the shift before, what the action plan is, who is responsible at work team group level. Team leader. He confirms that everything's okay. With who? With the people, the operators. They trigger start of production. They also have the responsibility and they have the empowerment to stop operations as soon as they detect an non-standard condition. So responsibility, empowerment, lean is about people. Team managers at the work group level, they report the status of their area every morning. In most American plants, production starts at 7 o'clock. At 8:30, work group leader reports up to the reporting structure. What happens after that? There's a process to review results and to support any process involved with the workstation. All of these align to the SQDCME corporate targets. Those meetings are chaired by the area supervisor. It's usually an hour, so that occurs by area once a week, and the last 30 minutes of that meeting is always on the ground. Using the principle, go and see. And not only go and see, go and talk. With who? With the operator. Because lean, the basis of lean, is the people. Time and data management, a very closely controlled management of meetings to make sure that we eliminate waste in our administration of the process. You have a proactive, non-punitive approach to review standards, and that occurs every single day. Every single day you have periodic, what we call periodic, what I used to call when I was before, periodic job observation, and you have deep knowledge sessions. What does that involve? The group team leader, he substitutes the operator on the assembly line, gives him the opportunity to come out of his day-to-day operations for 5-10 minutes and discuss his job with the supervisor. Lean is the people. Listen to his suggestions, listen to his input as to what is happening. I'll just close regarding forward with this. We always look at eliminating waste. You look at the process. Who does that? The people. You are closely involved with what is going on. You look at behavior, the way we act, people, respect. You look at attitude, the way that you think. So it's a lean culture, a lean manner of thinking. And as you work towards achieving those three first goals, you work towards achieving a lean culture. So how can we in Centre of Competitiveness help you? We work with EFQM. We're the national partner for EFQM. What we do with EFQM is try to help organizations evaluate where they are in their lean journey and then create with them their lean roadmap, a lean journey focused around what? Focused around their people, focused around their organization, focused around what they do, focused around what lean tools they already have, what lean tools might help them to achieve their objective. And always remember, we always say lean is never a destination, lean is always a journey. So thank you very much. I hope I've recovered some time.